It's the age-old question, is it a Call of Duty update if there isn't secret, stealth, hidden changes, whatever you want to call them? Well, I guess we really don't need to dive too deep into that question because just like many of the updates here, we do have stealth changes within Season 5's update. So that said, today we're going to break down these changes you may have missed that you don't necessarily see on patch notes. So as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Are there any of these changes you guys are liking? Anything we may have missed that you'd add to this list? Whatever the case may be, feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. But as well, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. Let's aim for 1,000 likes here on this. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things either Season 5 and of course, the Call of Duty Vanguard reveal here is coming this week. So there's going to be a lot to talk about in relation to that as well. So make sure you stick it here on the channel so you don't miss a single thing. And finally, a huge thank you to these legends on screen right now who use creator code Espresso in the in-game store to pick up their battle pass. It of course is 100% optional, but if you guys would like to support the channel and content a little further, that's a great way to do so. Don't feel pressured to, but if you ever do, feel free to tweet me a picture. I'd love to shout out some of your generous support in upcoming videos. That said, let's jump right into these changes that you may have missed. So a lot of you guys probably know that Warzone is my favorite of the two game offerings here this year, but despite that, I actually do want to talk about Black Ops Cold War first before we jump into the Warzone changes, because while there wasn't necessarily so many changes that weren't mentioned within Black Ops Cold War, there were a few things that were introduced via earnable or free items here that weren't mentioned in the patch notes or really anywhere else. So to start out, we actually ended up getting introduced here 2 additional Prestige Master calling cards that were not there before Season 5. This is something that usually happens every single season. We do get a couple of things introduced each season in the Prestige Master and the Legacy calling cards section. We also did for a little while get new Prestige emblems every couple of seasons, but I don't think we saw any in Season 4 and we didn't see any introduced here within Season 5. But for this Prestige Master calling cards that were introduced, we firstly saw the Cyber Soldier calling card, which is available at level 200 to purchase, which is that main Prestige Master level. So this season's sort of offering for level 200. And then we also ended up seeing the Grave Robber calling card. Again, as with all these other calling cards, being tethered to that Prestige Master title. So you have to reach level 400 for this one here this season. Once you end up doing that, you can purchase those and any other calling cards that are lower in number, but they're there for the grind factor of it. Although talking about more calling cards, we also did see 7 new Legacy calling cards introduced here, which I'll be totally honest with you, I'm a little bummed with myself because I save almost every game file that I end up having. I have terabytes on terabytes of footage like this so that I can go back and reference it with ease. And of course, the last showcase that I did in Season 4 of these Legacy calling cards, that gameplay's missing like 2 to 3 rows of calling cards, so I can't accurately get this down 100%. I have to rely on a full list that I have from Season 3 and about like 80% of that list that I have from Season 4. So I've gotten it down to these calling cards weren't visible in my Season 4 stuff, some of them new, some not, but that being the Master Chef, Humiliation Master, Trigger Man, New World, Sandcastle, Showdown, Mecha Bull, Lights Out, Digital Skull, Phantom Pirate, Skull Pile, and Air Assault. But again, some of those were introduced with last season. I just can't recall those ones 100%. Given that I don't really ever purchase these, I don't really ever go into here. And again, that one file, man, I can't believe I missed that. Next, another thing here that was introduced and added with the sort of Season 5 promo, not necessarily the update itself, was a free calling card. Who doesn't love free calling cards? We've seen this happen with every single season leading up to this point in the broadcast from Treyarch, probably like the day or 2 before the update itself actually goes live. But if you head on over to callofduty.com/redeem, log into your Activision account, and then input the code GNMR92L0Z, QF12, you'll end up getting the Fallen Heroes calling card once you end up logging back into Black Ops Cold War. Now, this is branded with Bowman. This could be a tie back to the original Black Ops 1 Bowman, which would make sense, Fallen Heroes kind of honoring the death of Bowman in Black Ops 1, but it also could be another tie into that never touched on or never expanded upon Bowman sequence that we got during the Pawn Takes Pawn promotion last year. That to me is still going to be one of those things that is always going to be, holy crap, we got Bowman's son, that aha moment, and then we never got it explained or built on at all. Major bummer, man. I really wish we would have done something with that, but free calling card if you guys are interested in with that. And then the final Black Ops Cold War thing here with this is a change that isn't quite meant to be live just yet, I don't think, here with this, but that being the new visibility of the Tundra Irradiator variant. This is a brand new gunfight tournament reward, which I think isn't live just yet. We don't have the gunfight tournaments live on the playlist, and having searched all of Google here for this, I can't seem to find any real reference of the Irradiator Tundra variant, so I'm assuming this isn't quite live and that it was declassified a little earlier than intended, because we usually see these go live invisible with the gunfight tournaments as they happen. But that's something that isn't quite earnable just yet, but no, maybe on the horizon here at this. Or maybe I'm crazy and I completely missed it. Regardless though, that's the Black Ops Cold War changes and additions that went unmentioned in the patch notes and anywhere else. But before we go any further, I want to take a second and catch you up to speed on what's going on in the Call of Duty League. Playoffs are starting this week, and from 12, there are now 8, all chasing down the crown and their share of the $1.2 million prize pool. Hearts will likely break, legacy cemented, in one final week of action in the CDL. Tickets are still on sale now for spectators from August 19th to the 22nd at the Galen Center in Los Angeles, California, where you can catch playoffs and champs, all that history in person. But for those of you at home, make sure you link your Activision account to the CDL YouTube channel, where you can earn a variety of in-game exclusive rewards for simply watching during playoffs and champs. And if you're into rare items, watching on Championship Sunday for 45 minutes, you can end up getting the CDL Champs 2021 XM4 blueprint. Don't miss out on any of the action. Check the link in the description below to follow it all. But back to these changes that were not mentioned here at this, jumping over to the Warzone side of things, there were a decent bit of changes here that were sort of stealth additions here at this. One thing that honestly I think is one of the best quality of life changes is that of the ability to detach from ascenders now, meaning that if you take that zip line up a building and your teammate's like, no, don't come up here, there's a full squad waiting here, you can now actually detach from that and parachute or fall down to safety depending on how high you actually are, instead of just being on that one-way trip up there to death. That is something that's gotten me killed quite a few times when we're trying to breach rooftops or something like that. So the ability to bail on that is going to be phenomenal, I think, for quality of life within Warzone. We also saw that there were a couple of in-game notifications now that were adjusted or added in. One of the big ones that I'm sure a lot of players will have a lot of fun making fun of somebody that has this happen is if you see a player getting banned now live in-game, it will say a player is banned rather than disconnected at this point, which is phenomenal. I'm not really one that's into bullying, but if you gotta cheat in Warzone, man, or any video game at that matter, just give it up, get a new hobby. Additional notifications introduced now is that it will tell you now whenever a player joins your lobby, or when multiple players join your lobby, I should say, if that lobby is full, it will give you a little pop-up saying the lobby is full on that main menu before you queue into any game here at that. So small quality of life fixes here and a little adjustments in those notifications. We saw also the playlist UI was condensed a little bit here at this, making those dialogue boxes be larger to now then smaller in those preview windows, making maybe more room for them to permanently introduce more modes on that main menu. Personally, I'd love to see like a cooler LTM rotation playlist always there, something like a BR200, a buyback quads and such, just on rotation here. You don't need to even put like all of them in at once, but like how we see limited time modes come in and out randomly and replace a mode, instead of replacing a mode, why not just have a sort of playlist that every week you get a new LTM on rotation? I think that would be phenomenal here for that, but that's just me. I guess I don't make the big bucks for a reason. In-game, there were a few things that changed, but we did touch on these a couple of days ago. Just to be thorough, though, mention them all in one place here. We saw that there were red door changes that weren't mentioned in the patch notes or explicitly in the patch notes. It now takes you to that corridor of red doors, likely relating to some sort of Easter egg here come the numbers event at mid-season. We saw the cargo containers introduced around the map of Verdansk. Right now, that might be pertaining to the upcoming event for Vanguard here, though we don't quite know just yet. If I'm not mistaken, I think the majority of those cargo containers are around the train tracks, so it could be something pertaining to that, and we know that there is an armored train or something here coming with this event. We saw the train station audio actually is something that plays through a couple of different audio cues on cycle, and that again pertaining to a train coming in, not stopping at a station, so that likely pertaining to the Vanguard Easter egg as well. And then to close out these changes here that weren't mentioned, these were some inadvertent changes and fixes. With Season 4 Reloaded, we ended up seeing that we actually had an XP bug persisting within Warzone, where if you played Warzone, you barely got any XP, if any at all. So the only real way to rank up and actually do it where you noticed it was to play Black Ops Cold War. You could play for like 2-3 hours and get like 1 level in Warzone, which obviously is not ideal. That's not something that everybody has that kind of time. So this was actually finally fixed out here as of a couple of days ago. I think actually yesterday or something like that. So something that wasn't mentioned in the patch notes because it came a little bit later. Though an inadvertent bug and change that is not intentional is that of the contract reward changes that happened as a result of Season 5's update. This is unintentional, is being investigated, and a fix is being worked on right now, but it basically turned contract rewards into proximity-based rewards, which is incredibly strange here. You had to be within a certain proximity in distance from that completed contract to end up getting that monetary reward in game. Obviously, that's not ideal. If you and your squad break apart, you end up taking, say, 2 and 2 in a quads match and split off, you're not going to get the rewards for killing a bounty or something like that, completing a contract in any regard. So that really messes with the economy and the flow of the game. So hopefully that's fixed out soon. But right now, that is the changes that we had here as of Season 5. Stealth changes, if you want to call them that, but secret changes no less, that we get every single update. So that wraps it up. But before we go, check the link in the description below to secure your tickets to the biggest Call of Duty League event of the year, Championship Weekend. Back on LAN in the best of the league there, it's going to be phenomenal. You can purchase either a playoff pass, which runs from Thursday to Saturday and covers the entire playoff run leading up to Champs, or a sole ticket for COD Champs on Sunday the 22nd at the Galen Center in Los Angeles, California, where that $1.2 million prize pool will be settled. Or if you'll be watching in the comfort of your own home, make sure you link your Activision account to the CDL YouTube channel where you can get cool rewards like the COD Champs 2021 XM4 Blueprint. Don't miss out. That said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. I would love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Is there anything in particular you quite like out of this update that wasn't mentioned in the patch notes? Anything that was? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. But that said, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We have so much stuff to cover here over the course of the coming days. And of course, with Vanguard's reveal happening this Thursday, make sure you do not miss a single thing. Hit that subscribe button. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Probably live on both those. So if you guys are struck by conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.